guys, it's Sam, and this is Top 5 Wednesday. Top 5 Wednesday is created by Lainey of Ginger Reads Lainey. I will leave her channel as well as the Goodreads group down below for topics and such. This week's topic is our top 5 most disappointing eye candy, and I think that is the funniest title. These are the books that have really pretty covers that we were really hyped for, and then were disappointed. Number 5 is The Young Elites by Marie Lu, which I do own, but I just can't seem to find it right now. This is the first book in the Young Elites trilogy, I believe it's called. And when I first read it, it was one of my most anticipated releases of that year. And I read it and I was just really disappointed. I'm not sure why I was necessarily, because from the synopsis it looks like it's something that would appeal to me, and it does when I read the synopsis, but for some reason when I went into it I don't think I expected a villain story, and I was just expecting something a little different, and I didn't really love Marie Lu's writing style. I was just expecting a lot of different things. So I ended up giving, I think, 2 stars, and I'm going to continue with the series. I have the Rose Society, I'm going to read it at some point, but I was just very underwhelmed with that original story, but I love the cover. I know it gets a lot of mixed reviews, but I love the cover a lot. Number 4 is Zodiac by Romina Russell, and this book is a book I read last year, and it's a science fiction. It's about a girl who has these kind of almost like mystical abilities to kind of like see the future and see the zodiac. It's really kind of complicated, honestly. I can't even remember like all the details of all the finer details, but I was really not a big fan of it. I think I gave it 2 or 3 stars last year, and I think there was a lot of like insta-loviness, there's a love triangle, there's a lot of info dumping, and while this world is really cool, there's just too much info dumping. There was like no map, so the info dumping didn't really have any way to make sense. There's a lot of elements going on. The very last chapter, though, made me think that I might have some hope for it in the future, so I plan on reading the second book, but this book, while beautiful, just left me a little ugh. Number 3, I think, will pop up on a lot of these lists, and that is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I don't have to go into this or anything. I've done actually a full review on this book, so you can go and check that out if you're interested in more of my thoughts as to why I didn't really like it. I gave this book, I think, 3 stars. It's like a 2.5, 3-star read for me. I think a lot of people had very similar complaints about this being just very tropey and typical and predictable. And I don't know if I'm going to continue with the series or not. I wouldn't be opposed to continuing, but I am not really in any hurry or anything. Number 2 is the Ruby Red Trilogy by Kristen Gear. I actually read this whole trilogy and hated it. Each book got increasingly worse, honestly. If I were to look back, this should really be like a 2-star series. I think I called it a 3-star series when I originally reviewed it, but I will leave my review up above. Not a fan. It's a time travel series. It has insta-love. It takes place over like 2 weeks. There's really not a lot of character development. It really doesn't make sense. The grand finale is very kind of short for the build-up that it has, and the explanations we get as to what all the things meant in the rest of the series are lackluster, and some of them aren't even like tied up. Some of the little strings aren't tied up. So yeah, very disappointed with the series. And number 1 is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and this is because this book was hyped so far into outer space I cannot even believe it. So when I got around to reading it, I had all these high expectations. This had been hyped for months. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so I thought I was going to really enjoy it, but the Beauty and the Beast elements of it I really didn't enjoy. I enjoyed parts of it, other parts of it later on, but the first 70% of the book I was like dragging my feet through. I really didn't like it. There was all these problems I had problems with. I will link my review. A lot of people will probably disagree with me, but this was one of my most disappointing reads of the entire year. The cover is beautiful, and I'm going to continue with the series because the second book is supposed to have Hades and Persephone elements, and you guys know how I am. But if it weren't for that, I probably wouldn't continue. I hated the main character. I hated a lot of the like world-building elements. I hated a lot of the backstory. I hated a lot of the writing. But it's a beautiful cover. It is a beautiful cover. Alright guys, that is it for my most disappointing eye candy. Comment down below and let me know a beautiful book that you were disappointed in. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all you guys soon. Bye!